Good morning to you. It is 9:10 here Central Time on your Wednesday, November 6th, as we're tracking Hurricane Rafael. The storm is intensifying fairly quickly this morning as it approaches Cuba. There you can see on satellite presentation that eye seems to be popping out, and it's a fairly small eye here. So the storm is making a run at major hurricane status. That's Category 3 as it approaches the Isle of Youth there and eventually Cuba as it moves up towards Havana. So that's what it's doing as of this morning. The storm is probably not going to get knocked down too much in intensity as it passes over Cuba, just simply because it's not a lot of land interaction later on today. So there's your landfall this afternoon, moving into the Gulf later this evening, and then here we go. The storm probably going to hang on to a fairly healthy status of a Category 2, perhaps a Category 3. It's not going to be shocking to see this thing maybe make a run again at a Category 3 status in the southern Gulf. So very, very unusual. One, to have a hurricane in the Gulf in November, but a major hurricane potentially in November, extremely, extremely rare. So this is what the storm's going to be doing through Friday morning. You can see it's still a hurricane, but watch what happens as we go out in time. The newest track update shows that the storm begins to stall out and weaken considerably, and the latest trends have been for the storm to stay further and further south. So what does this mean for the northern Gulf Coast? Well, it means the storm may never get all the way up here. It may never even get close to Louisiana or Mississippi. So our trends are in our favor for a drier weekend with maybe not even minimal impacts, but no impacts from this system. So these are the latest trends we're seeing here, is that the ridge staying stronger and the storm may be staying further to the south. And the National Hurricane Center even said that they may be a little too far north on this guidance here at the moment. So what you're looking at here is a weakening storm in the Gulf and maybe weakening very, very quickly, going from a hurricane to almost nothing in about 48 hours once we get into this weekend. Now, our tropical models, you can see they do show a lot of confidence through around Friday, and then this is when you see a huge spread in models. The reason you have this big spread is because a weakening storm is going to be more susceptible to erratic movement, meaning it may shoot further south or north. Now, either way, this is not going to be a problem for the northern Gulf. I know there's a couple models that still curve it up towards like New Orleans, but if that solution plays out, it would be a very weak system. You're not expecting a hurricane. Now, what's interesting is there are a couple solutions that take the storm, continue west, and then dive it south, and those actually keep it a hurricane a little bit longer. So we'll see what that plays out, but once again, that's still far enough away from New Orleans. I mean, you're talking hundreds of miles to the south that solution wouldn't be a problem for us on the northern Gulf either. So while, excuse me, yes, there is a wide spread in solutions at this point, our concern really and our thinking really has not changed too much on what this means for the northern Gulf. If anything, the trends have been our friend for this thing staying further to the south and maybe keeping most of the impact south of New Orleans and the surrounding areas. Our high-resolution models, boy, are they in track with what the National Hurricane Center is thinking. I mean, almost to the hour. This is it by tomorrow afternoon. You could still see a fairly healthy hurricane sitting north of the Yucatan Channel there, north of Cozumel and Cancun. And then as we go out in time, here we are Friday night. That's still a fairly healthy hurricane that's spinning. Let's measure it. I mean, we're talking well south of New Orleans. Here's New Orleans. I mean, this thing could be nearly 400 miles away and not a big storm, so we're not going to feel any impact from that on Friday. So no issues Friday from this on the northern Gulf. Let's fast forward even more. You can see there some guidance suggests maybe some of that moisture gets lifted to the north as the storm weakens, but overall, you're not talking about a very impactful situation here on the northern Gulf. So at the moment, here's where my rain chances stand for those Friday, Saturday, and Sunday plans. This is not bad. 20% Friday, 20% Saturday, and Sunday's rain chances depend on where the moisture from Raphael goes. This is under the assumption that some of the rain, or some of the moisture rather, gets pulled our direction, and that is not a guarantee. So we're going to hold it at 40% Sunday with the caveat of that number could go up or down. If the storm takes that more southerly route, maybe stays stronger and stays in the southern Gulf, rain chances Sunday don't look nearly as high. If some of that moisture gets tugged our direction, rain chances would be higher on Sunday. And so just keep that in mind as you make your plans. But at the moment, I really am feeling pretty good about this and that we're not going to see a huge disruption to our weekend. So again, I'll leave you with our final update on the track that just dropped from the National Hurricane Center. It does have this as a major hurricane passing over Cuba as we go through the rest of today. It will bring impacts to locations like Havana, and then once it's in the Gulf here later this evening and tomorrow, it's still going to have an opportunity to maybe strengthen and stay at least a Category 2 or Category 3. As we go into your Thursday and Friday, you can see it's starting to make that westerly turn, but then it starts to run into some wind shear, and that's when it begins to weaken. And you can see there, New Orleans no longer in that cone of uncertainty, so we're growing more and more confident that this probably will never make it all the way up to us. May just send us a little bit of moisture and keep a fresh breeze out of the east as we go through the weekend, which means tides may be a little bit higher than normal, but that would be the extent of it for our area. So overall, feeling pretty good. Whether you're staying in town this weekend, going up to Baton Rouge for LSU and Bama, big game up there this weekend. Saints in town on Sunday. I don't think we're going to have major problems. We'll just carry a low chance for some showers. That is the latest as of the 9 a.m. Central Time update from the National Hurricane Center. The next track update will drop at 3 p.m. Of course, we'll bring that update to you right here on WWL Plus and all of our other platforms. Thanks for joining me.